Welcome to Sexual Abuse, the questions you've never had the chance to ask. This is a video series where I get 2 minutes to try and answer your questions on sexual violence, domestic abuse, or consent. The question for this episode is, why don't victims of sexual assault just say no? This might seem like a reasonable question, but actually it's about as reasonable as asking why a victim of a mugging doesn't just say no, or why people who find strangers in their homes late at night don't just politely ask them to leave. Most people are sexually assaulted by somebody that they know, somebody that they are in some form of relationship with. People may not say no initially because they don't want to hurt the other person's feelings, they don't want to reject them too harshly. And so they might try something a lot more gentle, like simply not reciprocating their sexual advances. But when these signals aren't responded to by the other person, when the other person doesn't pick up on what you think are very clear messages that you don't want to have sex, all sorts of things can happen. Perhaps this person now becomes very confused. It can be confusing when someone doesn't pick up on your signals, and it can also be confusing to begin to feel afraid of somebody that you were feeling safe with a few moments ago. Perhaps it is fear, perhaps they become afraid and it's the fear that stops people from saying anything. Or perhaps they're worried about what might happen if they do resist in any way. Will this person now become violent or aggressive? These are often very frightening experiences, and just like other frightening experiences, like being mugged, everything can happen quickly and it can be confusing. People tend to do what they think they need to do to get through the experience. They do as they're told, they comply, they freeze. Not everybody is going to be able to resist, and resisting might not always be a good idea. If we look at it from the other side, from the side of the perpetrator, "she didn't say no" is the kind of bullshit that you'll hear from somebody who thinks it's okay to push things right up to the line where you are so uncomfortable you have to verbally or physically stop them, and if you don't, then it's your fault. They're not interested in checking in with you, noticing if you're enjoying yourself, asking you what you want. They want to make you responsible for stopping them because they don't want to, or they're not able to, do a decent job of consent. Consent isn't about the other person not saying no, it's about them saying yes. When somebody knocks on the door to your home, they don't barge in the second you open the door with the excuse that you should have said no if you didn't want them to enter. They wait for an active invitation from you. The same is true if they want to borrow your car or take some food from your plate. Your consent is actively given. Consent is communicated through our words, and it's communicated through our body language. It isn't up to other people to stop you doing what you want to do. It's up to you to make sure you've got a clear yes. There are hundreds of reasons why a victim of sexual assault might not say no. There is no reason to assume you've got consent unless you have an active yes. Thanks for listening. If you want more information, please check out my website where you'll find my books, more videos, and loads of resources for those of you whose job has got anything to do with safeguarding, sexual violence, or domestic abuse. See you next time.